Boy, about time we got Joey doing his own show, right, Al? I mean, he does the impressions, he does the TikToks, he does all those other things, but it's about time we got him in the studio doing his own thing, going pound for pound. Just good to have him. See, I'm excited about it. There is no doubt about it. Hey, what's up, everybody? Man, I'm excited to be here. This is great, dude. This is awesome. Morning, Joey. Episode 1. Had to throw a little Chris Collinsworth slide in there, and I'm excited, dude. I'm pumped. I love doing the Q&A on my Instagram every single morning, every Friday, and the interaction is just so fun, dude. And I wanted to do a daily thing because you see me do, like Collinsworth said, you see me do impressions, you see me do all of, my videos and things like that. But I wanted a little bit of a more regular appearance. I wanted everybody to be able to get to know me on a more regular basis and to be able to come with you daily, to have this kind of show, have this kind of relationship, because that's what got me into this. I mean, a little backstory. We're going to do triple shot of espresso, some news there. We got Chris Ballard at 9:30, like I said. Very excited. But, I mean, when I first got into this in college, when I first got into it after college, that was always kind of the goal. That was always kind of the idea was, I'm going to do this. I'm going to have a daily show. I'm going to try not to have hot takes and be that kind of hot take guy. I'm definitely not going to do that here. But that's what got me into it, was that consistent daily basis relationship that I built with people like Bob and Tom, with Mike and Mike. Bob and Tom's it's a national, but they're based out of Indy. And, it's a comedy morning zoo type of show that's been going on since the 80s. Interned with them my senior year at college. And I just love that consistency that every day I knew I'd be able to wake up and Bob and Tom was going to be there. And Mike was going to be there, and whoever you listen to was going to be there. And so I wanted to do it. I've been at Barstool for a year. 2 weeks from now, it'll be a year that I've been at Barstool, and it's been great. I've loved every second of it, and I love being able to do what I do. But there was just that something missing, that daily piece that was missing, that I was like, you know what? Let's do it for an hour a day. That's no big deal. People who do podcasts 3 times a week for an hour and a half, 2 hours, that's much longer than I do for a day. We're going to have segments. We're going to have lists, because what's a talk show without lists and rankings? We're going to have interviews. Like I said, we got Ballard coming up today. Tomorrow we got Kelly Keegs, going to have a Bachelor recap, because yes, I watched The Bachelor. I'm a big fan. I'm a believer that even, the whole real men watch Bachelor kind of thing. Yeah, I'm into that. So we're going to have her do that. I think we're going to have George Kittle from the San Francisco 49ers tomorrow. And we're going to be able to have other Barstool employees, my coworkers, be able to hop on, just share a cup of Joey, which you can still get this mug. Sun's out and bright and Indy this morning, thank God. You can get this mug at the Barstool Sports store. So get that, and let's have a cup of coffee every morning together. Be able to have Q&As with you guys, be able to have the interviews, a little bit of a different look behind the interviews with Chris Ballard, behind the interviews with people that I work with, So it's going to be that kind of a basis. But don't worry, I'm still going to be doing skits. I'm still going to be doing impressions, all the stuff that you followed me for to start with. I'm still going to be doing all of those. I just wanted, since I'm not in the New York office, because of varying circumstances and the pandemic and things going on in my life personally, I wanted that more consistent, regular basis for everybody to be able to get to know Joey a little bit more, instead of just the guy who does the Saban impression or the Collinsworth impression or whatever it is. So that's the gist, man. That's why I'm doing it. That's the goal of what I was doing it for, and I'm very, very excited. We got 36 people watching right now. Let's go. All of the shows are going to be up on my YouTube channel afterwards. So if you can't tune in at 9, that's all right. The point is to be able to have it at 9. If you want to throw it on while you're at work, if you want to throw it on while you're just waking up in the morning and working from home, perfect. If not, if you want to catch it on your lunch break, if you want to catch it later in the day, it's going to be there for you to watch that as well. So I'm so excited, dude. This is why I got into it. Like I said, from the very start,
and I'm just pumped to be here because the interaction that you guys have with me, whether it's social media or my, like I said, my Q&As on Instagram on Friday, it's just the best. It's just a little something to wake up to with you guys and with me, and hopefully other people. Like I said, we got Chris Ballard, we got coming up at 9:30, we got Kelly Keegs tomorrow, we got George Kittle tomorrow. So it's gonna be fun, man. I'm super, super excited. I'm so glad that you guys are here. I'm a dog dad now. I got a little puppy boy, Happy. And, it's fun. Everybody that was commenting that were like, oh, he doesn't look happy. Hey, he's dog. I didn't know that dogs are supposed to smile for pictures. I can assure you that he is happy and he is having a good time and we are taking care of him, but he didn't smile for the picture. Okay. There was a lot of jokesters out there. Oh, his name's Happy. He sure seems happy. And no, I don't have I'm fine. My cats are knocking shit over behind me. See, that's the thing is I have 3 cats and we have a dog now. And so I had to introduce one of the cats to the dog today. It did not go well. So if anybody has any tips or tricks to help that out, that would be greatly appreciated because as you can see, Rocco is right behind me. He's knocking over my Star Wars collection back there. And they're not handling it too well. Hey man, let's go. Go Tigers. I love it. See, we got people on here already. That's great, man. KB, let's go. Katie, yes, the flows, the locks are flowing. They're going. It's great. I'm not going to cut my hair. I like it too much, man. My dad is bald. He's damn near bald. All right. He doesn't have a lot of hair. And I know that that's probably going to be my fate one day. So I'm growing it out and I'm keeping it going because I like it. You know what? It's like Jonah Hill talked about on Instagram over the weekend. He was like, look, I was a fat kid. Here, you want to say hi to Rocco? Come here. He's a Rocco boy. He's a Rocco boy. That's our baby cat. Jonah Hill was like, hey, I was a fat kid that people, would make fun of me if I took my shirt off. And he's like, look, I'm happy with who I am now. If you're a little chubby kid, take your shirt off. I don't care. You don't like my hair? That's fine. I get things sent to me all the time saying, hey, you look like this, my grandma, you look like this dude, you look like this chick who plays softball for Arkansas, whatever it is. That's cool. It's funny. That's fine. I like it. So I'm going to keep it. All right. What we got coming up today? So yeah, I'm dog dad now. Like I said, Happy Boy is the best. You're going to be seeing a lot of them. But what's, it's not that bad. Like there's a lot of people out there that are like, oh, you're getting a puppy. You don't, yeah. Oh man, puppy. Are you prepared for that? Are you mentally prepared to have a puppy? I'm like, it's a puppy. Love them. Like, yeah, you got to wake up and take him out. Okay. Not that big of a deal. Like he's going to be all right. He's the best thing ever. You don't have to make a federal case about it because you have a puppy that you're going to have to take care of. Okay. Like, I love the people that are like, oh, that's a good test. That's a good test for having a kid because you got to wake up with that puppy and you got to take care of that puppy. I'm like, no, it's like, yeah, you have to wake up with it, but it's really not the same thing as having a kid. And I don't have a kid, but kid, you're that thing is going to talk and you have to wipe its ass and you have to, you're responsible for it forever. Dog and baby, not the same. I'm not into the whole talking about, oh, well, it's a good test for you. No, it's not a good test. Puppies and babies, completely different. I've had this puppy for 3 or 4 days. He's been incredible. I've enjoyed getting up with him. Not that big of a deal. All right. Now we got that out of the way. But like I said, if anybody has any tips how to help with cats and dogs, help me out because I showed my pride and joy Remy to him and he hissed like none other. So got a little bit of a problem there. Triple shot of espresso. Let's get into it. 3 quick stories to start the day. We're going to break them down into different segments, different categories, I should say. So coffee themed show. We're getting up. We're having a cup of coffee. Triple shot of espresso. Let's get into it. We'll start in the sports world. Victor Oladipo turning down a 2-year, $45 million from Houston, according to Adrian Wojnarowski. He wants a longer deal. That can't come until after the season. I mean, this is something that we've seen. I'm in Indy, right? Everybody knows that. I'm in Indy. We just saw all the nonsense that went on with Victor Oladipo over the last couple of years when he was here. He was injured. He was coming back. Is he going to stay? Does he want to go? He finally gets traded And now all of a sudden he wants that longer deal. Does he want it with Houston? It feels like he just is really trying to force his hand to go to Miami. I mean, he really seems like no matter what the case is, he wanted out of Indy. Now he's not taking this 2-year, $45 million extension with Houston. He wants an even longer one. And there's always been that little bit of a murmur, a little bit of a swelling going around him that he wants to go to Miami. We're going to see. We're going to see. It doesn't seem like it's been too happy of a marriage for Vic and Houston. But honestly, I was happy to get rid of him as a Pacers fan. But ever since we did get rid of him, the Pacers have been we've been struggling. We just lost to the Knicks. I know everybody's losing their mind about the Knicks, and good for them. Clem, KFC, Stephen Shea, all my buddies that work at Barstool who are Knicks fans. But, I mean, you lose Victor Oladipo, you think that it's going to be, okay, good. He didn't want to be here. It's not a big deal. He didn't want to be here anyways. This is good. We got our guys that want to be in Indy. We got our guys that want to play for the Pacers. And right now, it honestly hasn't worked out for either side. Pacers are struggling a little bit. Victor Oladipo been sitting out. He had COVID, or he thought he had COVID. He doesn't want to sign the extension. I don't know. It's been a weird go for Victor Oladipo. So he turns down 2-year, $45 million contract extension right now from Houston. The report from Woj is that he wants a longer deal. And my thought is this dude's just trying to force himself to go to Miami. Copo61 says Oladipo's so overrated. Yeah, that was always kind of my argument is I was always just like, who does this guy think he is? I mean, we can say all we want about Paul George, and I'm not a Paul George fan, and I don't care what people say. I will be on that train forever. I don't like how Paul George handled his exit in Indiana. I don't like how he wanted to be the guy and the leader, and then once it was his team, he was always pointing the finger elsewhere. But you have to admit that Paul George is a much better player than Victor Oladipo and has been more consistently for a long time. Yet Victor Oladipo was always seemed to be like he was, acting like he was on Paul George's level in terms of a player. I never understood it. Jack Scott says 2 starters are out. That's a fair point. TJ Warren's been out for a long time. Caris LeVert still is the medical condition with that growth that they found. Thank God that they did. So, they're in a little bit of a transition, a little bit of a weird phase. But 2 things that you can hang your hat on is obviously Domas Sabonis and Miles Turner. They've been playing phenomenally this year. They've been playing phenomenally. Domas, an all-star, rightfully so. Miles Turner should be right at the top of the defensive player of the year. Cooper Gore. How about the Knicks, though? You're right, dude. The Knicks, I mean, good for them. Best start that they've had in March since 2012, 2013. That was the year that my Pacers bounced them in the second round. That was a really great series, not for you guys, but for the Pacers, man. You had Hibbert's block. You had that was really good. Let's go back up to see what the Cats. Derek LeBlanc, the Cats will probably get used to the dog eventually. It's harder if you have dogs and then get a cat. Yeah, no, I figured. I mean, that's how they were. That's how they were when we had 3. So that's how each of the cats were whenever I brought those cats home. So anyways, that's what's going on. Oladipo, electric every night. Yep. I mean, Aiden says electric every night at IU, not so much since he was. I mean, Oladipo, you remember Dickie V? Shades of Jordan, baby. He looks like Jordan. Hey, Jordan. Working on the Dickie V impression. I don't know. Maybe everybody has one, so probably not. But he was. And I saw it firsthand. I mean, we were in college at the same time. I didn't go to IU, but a lot of my friends and people that I knew was IU. So Victor Oladipo was all the rage. I mean, he was the 2nd overall pick in the draft, or 3rd, whatever it was. So he's definitely electric, but at the same time, Anthony Bennett was the 1st overall pick in that draft. So it's not saying too much. And speaking of IU stinks. It's March now. It's the 1st of the month. We're excited. We got March Madness coming to Indy. Let's go. I will always till I'm in the ground. I will go to war for Indianapolis as being the best host city out there. I will. And we're going to pull this off, and we're going to pull it off in grand fashion coming up this month with the Big Ten tournament starting on March 10th. And then you got the rest of the NCAA tournament going to Mackey Arena and Pepsi Coliseum and Hinkle and Bankers Life and Lucas Oil. And it's going to be great. And I know that the pandemic is limiting things, obviously, even though on March 1st today in Indy, we can go up to 75% capacity, and the bars and restaurants don't close until 2. as McConaughey would say, 2. 2 a.m. That's lifted up in March. So if you're heading here, if you can make it here with the pandemic and everything going on, I assure you we're going to be in for a great time because we have the whole tournament here. Like I said, all these different campuses and everything, and they're lifting the ban at midnight, not the ban, the closing at midnight to go to 2 a.m. You get 2 extra hours, 75% capacity. We're doing it. Got a lot of people saying fire Archie. Nick Snyder, fitting Archie's last game will be a big fat L to Purdue. You're right about that, my man. So Purdue, on the flip of IU, they're ranked 23rd this morning in the country. They're 16-8. They've just been taking care of business, dude. That's what I love about Purdue and Matt Painter. You go on the road, Nebraska, Penn State, they don't mess around. They just get the job done. You know, they go out there, they get the job done with 3 freshmen, with a year in transition. They're ranked. They're probably going to be a 4 or 5 seed. It's looking like right now. And you're right. Purdue has their final home game on Saturday against IU. And, man, I really hope that they smack them around. I really hope they do. I think they will. But you look at guys like Jaden Ivey, Mason Gillis, and Brandon Newman, and then Travion Williams, a veteran who's only a junior. I mean, it's very exciting, man. I think Purdue's going to make a run. I really do. Jack Scott, yes, Indy is the best host. I mean, it sucks that we couldn't have the Combine here this year because the Combine is just, you know, it's the NFL world comes to Indy for an entire week, and it's the best. But we're going to make up for it in March. And then we have May coming up, obviously, month of May in Indy. If you don't know, you should know. And if you don't know, and if you do know, then, you know, you're excited as hell about it. So that's coming up, and I would go to war for that any day. Mock Monday. I want to do these on Mondays. Finishing out with sports here. Looking at mock drafts. I love mock drafts in the NFL. I'm addicted to mock drafts in the NFL. We can talk about them all day. Once we get into March, it's like, okay, these are finally starting to happen, right? Like these are finally really revving up because you can see the light. All these mock drafts that we've been looking at since November, December, January, the drafts is a little over a month away, and it's starting to feel real. And Charlie Casserly from the NFL Network put one out. Man, I don't know. It's it's pretty interesting, especially for my Steelers. He had Justin Fields drop into the Steelers at 24. He said, even though the Steelers and Ben Roethlisberger are planning to continue their partnership, I don't see the veteran playing much longer. Obviously, no shit, guy. In a stunning turn of events, Fields slides all the way to 24. And Pittsburgh pounces out the chance to land the talented successor for Big Ben. He didn't really give a reason why he would slide all that way. But, I mean, when you look at all the teams that are ahead of the Steelers, obviously, I mean, Jacksonville, New York, but you don't think he's going to go there. Carolina, he's got Trey Lance going to Carolina. You know, they're going to take a little bit more of a risk instead of an established Big Ten player, Justin Fields. I don't know. We got the Eagles. People are saying they're going with Hurts. They're a little flippity flop. He's got Devontae Smith going for Philadelphia at number 6. And I feel bad for Eagles fans. I was talking to an Eagles fan about this the other day. There's so many good receivers at the top of this draft, right? Devontae Smith, Jamar Chase, Jalen Waddle. And it just feels like with the history recently of the Eagles drafting wide receivers that they're going to draft the wrong guy. I mean, they're going to have one of those 3 guys, and then whoever they take, it just feels like he's going to have the worst start or the lesser of a career than the other 2. I mean, you think about Jalen Reagor, who was banged up last year, J.J. Arcega-Whiteside, who's just, I don't want to throw a bust around there, but it's been tough. It has been tough for him. So I'm like, Eagles fans, I don't know if you want to draft a wide receiver. Maybe you should draft a quarterback, you know? Tracy Travis is an Eagles fan, says being an Eagles fan is pain. But that's what's so funny is that, 3 years ago or whatever, you guys are hoisting the Lombardi. You got the best head coach ever. You got your franchise quarterback. Excuse me. I'm burpy boy this morning. Too much coffee. You got a statue built outside. And and now Eagles fan is pain. I love this. Heath says Eagles will get Paris Campbell 2.0 in Indy. Paris Campbell out of Ohio State. Very electric, very fast. Has all the ability in the world. Just can't stay on the field. Gets banged up every single time. So it's tough. I would mind. Like I said, I wrote about it. If Justin Fields falls to the Steelers at 24, absolutely you got to take him. any prospect like that falls, you got to take them. Do I think it's going to happen? Hell no. How do I take my coffee? Popular question. So on Friday, I posted the picture that I usually do to start the Q&A, and people were like, you want some coffee with that milk? It's a fair joke. It looked bad, but it wasn't coffee. It was an iced chai tea latte. So that's why it looked like that. I have black coffee with, I'd say, a drip of cream, so a little bit. So it's like a healthy Hershey's chocolate, milk chocolate brown. That's what I would say. Tracy Travis, thoughts on Kyle Pitts? I love Kyle Pitts. I mean, my boy Uncle Colin Cowherd, in his mock draft had Kyle Pitts going number 2 to the Jets. I'm like, this is coming from the guy that always talks about how it's icing on the cake and yada, yada, yada to have outside playmakers, and now going number 2. I think Kyle Pitts is a stud. Watched a lot of his games at Florida. He's a freak, but the hype is kind of just getting unreal, right? And it feels like every year there's a few of those prospects that you're like, all right, we get it, guy. This is a little much. So I like Kyle Pitts, but I don't know about top 5 pick overall. It's just settled down. Let's see. I'm going to skip over entertainment. Golden Globes were last night. I don't. The award shows just get me because every look is iconic. And they slayed this, and this is iconic, and they look like, and it's like, even if the guy like Jason Sudeikis is wearing a hoodie, which good for him, and it was a cool hoodie, and he was supporting his sister, but it's really redundant to me. I don't really watch. But one thing that is fascinating, like the British folks who speak with an American accent, wild. Like Anya Taylor-Joy, she won last night for Queen's Gambit, and I was watching Good Morning America this morning because I'm old and I drink coffee in the morning now and do that. But I had no idea. All of a sudden she starts talking and she's speaking in a British accent. I'm like, I've watched her in like 6 things, and she talks perfectly like me. Like, Nicole Kidman the same way. There's a few other, it's not British, but what's the guy, This Is Sparta guy? Fuck. What's his name? Gerard Butler. Same. He's like Scottish or something, and he just speaks perfectly with an American accent. It's crazy. I don't know how to, every now and then, Americans are always like, hey, top of the morning. Top of the morning, that's Irish. What the hell am I talking about? Governor? Good eye, governor. No, it's Australian. I don't know. I can't do it. They do us well. I have no idea how to do the British accent, so that always gets me, man. It's crazy. But it's March. Before we get into Chris Ballard's interview, it wouldn't be a talk show, right? It wouldn't be the debut of a show if you didn't have a little bit of lists. If you didn't have any rankings. If you follow me on Twitter, which you should, at Joey Molinaro, you know that I like to every now and then throw out some rankings and some lists. And with it being March, I wanted to rank the months. And this is always going to be controversial, right? Because everybody has their months, whether it's their birthday month or, this sport that they like the best has their playoffs here, or it starts there, or they like this holiday better, right? It's always going to be very debatable, whatever the list is, right? This is what I came up with. First day of March, wake up, wake up, wake up. It's the first of the month. I want to play that, but I know copyright would have gotten me. So anyways, lists, months. Number 12, February. You got the Super Bowl, and that's about it. It's always the worst month weather-wise, as we saw this past year. You got the Super Bowl, that's all it gets you through. February, 12, no doubt. 11, January. All right, now you got the NFL playoffs. You got a little bit of college basketball heating up. The NFL playoffs get you through. That's it. It's just getting you through. It's after the holidays. You're starting off. It's so dark. It's cold. January's got to be 11, no doubt. 10, I think this might stir a little bit of controversy. 10 for me is April. I don't really care about April. It feels like you got March. You're hyped about. You got May. I'm hyped about. April's just kind of the filler in between. It's like a Wednesday. Now you're like, let's get me to Thursday, Friday, whatever. It's hump day. You get me through some good things. You got the Masters. I know everybody loves the Masters. You got the start of baseball. That's great. I love that. But it's just a start, And it's always raining. April showers brings May flowers, that whole thing. It's always raining. I don't like it. 10, April. 9, June. And I know it's summer. I know it's the start of summer. I get that. But there's just not a whole lot else there. It's warm. Great. Vacations. Cool. There's not a whole lot of just events every year. It's a big birthday month, though. You know, everybody's parents was banging and doing it right to get him to be born in June. June, 9. 8, August. And this is my birthday month. I was born in August. All right, but you got the start of school. Preseason football is always such a tease. Everybody's kind of getting back to that routine from summer, and it's kind of annoying, right? The school thing for me is always like, yeah, my birthday, but August 17th, here we go. Got to check my homeroom. Who's in my homeroom? Got to get my school supplies. The school supplies stuff at Target starts going up August 8th. This one was tough too. I put November at 7. I put November at 7 because, yes, you have Thanksgiving, and that's phenomenal. That's really all it stands on is Thanksgiving. You know, there's not a whole lot of other redeeming qualities. Yes, you have football, but Thanksgiving is it, and you know, that's when it's starting to get cold, and the leaves are getting crunchy and like a nasty gray instead of a pretty color. Sorry, I got a street cleaner coming down here below me, if you can hear that. November 7, 6 May, and I'm biased because Indy, right? That's going to be big in my hometown. Month of May, Indy 500, Indianapolis Motor Speedway, Carb Day, all that stuff. But May, I mean, you're ending school, you're at the start of summer, Memorial Day, you got a 3-day weekend built in there. You know, it's getting warm. Pools are opening. Like, you can see the light at the end of the tunnel. There's a lot to be excited about with May. Number 5, March. March is great. Tournament, obviously. Baseball getting started up. You know, basketball just takes over. And that's when, you know, I wrote the blog about it the other day. You start getting some day drinking going on. You start getting out there and you get to wear the jerseys and it's nice and you can finally sit on the patio instead of being cooped up inside, and the walk from bar to bar isn't just completely miserable. I love March, and we're here. Very exciting. Number 4, July. Huge 4th of July guy. One of the best holidays. So fun. Great weather. Training camp starts. That gets exciting in the NFL. And a lot of vacations. 3, September. Start of fall. Fall is the best season, in my opinion. Football, both college and the NFL, gets going full swing. You have the song by Earth, Wind, and Fire, right? That's just blaring the entire month. September, great. Number 2, December. So you're gonna know what number 1 is. Huge Christmas guy. It's a jolly ass month, except for that weird time between Christmas and New Year's. Everybody knows, kind of depressing. Kind of like, are we supposed to work? Are we not? Is this what's going on? Is it even real? Like, who knows? Let's just get to the end of the year. But man, from December 1 to December 26th, let's go. We're riding. Everybody's having a great time. Everybody's partying. Everybody's having fun. Perfect. And then number 1, October. I mean, right in the middle of prime football, baseball playoffs. You know this. The weather, Halloween. It's just all the pumpkin spice latte. I mean, the whole thing. October, beautiful weather, best time of the year. October's got to be number 1 easily. Got to be number 1 easily. Kentucky Derby a factor. I haven't been to the Kentucky Derby. I was supposed to go. Nick Snyder's Carb Day 500, the best day drinking day. Carb Day, probably. Yes. Carb Day, top 3. Absolutely. Friday, you're good to go into a long weekend. So you have 4-day weekend, really. It's phenomenal. I love this. July's number 1 from Anthony Clark. Wow. Yeah, I mean, July's great. I love the 4th of July, like I said, but you know, it's still kind of just like the sports is kind of down. You know, you're in the dog days of baseball. NFL's training camp's just getting started. No basketball usually. There was last year, obviously, but I don't know. July I like, but I want to put it number 1. That's a little crazy to me. That's a little crazy to me. Big sports betting guy from Jack. Yeah, no, I like to bet on sports. Barstool Sportsbook. Hopefully coming to Indy soon. No, it's live. Pennsylvania, Michigan. I think Illinois. I think that's what. Dave just announced yesterday. Don't quote me on that, but yeah. So that's the ranking of the months, and it's it could change. I'm a little biased right now because of March, and we just got out of February, but I feel pretty damn good about that list being my list. All right, let's get into the interview with Chris Ballard. Chris Ballard is the best, dude. He's just I covered the Colts for 2 or 3 years when I was in Indy. well, I'm still in Indy, but when I worked for 107.5 The Fan, the flagship station for the Colts. So I ran, I was around Chris every now and then for different, his press conferences and when he'd come in the studio, but it was always just like I was some putz like holding the camera. Like, we didn't talk that much. It was always just like a, hey, how you doing? Blah, blah, blah. But he's the best. He's so good on the mic. Like, and I talk about it with him, and I'm like, dude, you could have a career in politics. You know how to answer the questions. Charming guy, and he's really good at his job. He's really good at being an NFL GM. That's for sure. So Chris Ballard, we talked for about 20 minutes. This was pre-recorded before this. Now, bear with me because this share screen is something that I haven't done yet. So I'm going to try this, and it's probably going to be a little fucked up. But I'm going to try my best. So here it is, Chris Ballard. Let's get this thing going. Share the screen. Yep. Application window. Let's go here. Yep. And all right, enjoy the interview with Chris Ballard. Cup of Joey with the general manager of the Indianapolis Colts, Chris Ballard. Chris, how are we doing today?
We're good. Thank you. Thanks for having me on.
Good. I saw you're drinking a little something there. You a coffee guy?
No, actually a water guy right now.
Do you ever go with the coffee or no?
No, I got a natural thing going on. I don't need much of the caffeine. I have these little drinks Uptime, then I drink about 3 or 4 of them a day, and that gets it going.
Okay, so just pounding water like Tom Brady style, right? Just always with the water.
A lot of water through the day.
Okay, that's good. This is a little bit of an odd question, I think, to start off, but I'm always curious about a football guy like yourself, and you just said you were in draft meetings and whatnot. What's your policy on chewing tobacco? I feel like general managers, coaches in the NFL, they always got to have a spitter. What's the policy there?
Okay, so I quit years ago. And then when I was in Kansas City, I started chewing Nicorette gum.
Wow.
And I ripped. It's almost embarrassing. I'm going to spit it out as we talk. But I ripped through it. So, I dipped Copenhagen forever. And probably, 15 years ago, quit completely. Got on Nicorette, got off of it. And then when I was in Kansas City, the trainer there is great. He got us into this like weight loss program. And part of it was Nicorette. You started chewing Nicorette to curb your appetite. Well, next thing you know, I'm back now addicted to nicotine. So I chew Nicorette like crazy.
Okay. So was it family decision? You're having kids coming around. You wanted to stop chewing. Is that what did it?
My wife. She was done. Yeah. I started having shit. It was when I had my first one, Kirsten, and then now I have 5 total. So she was done. Oh no, and she's on me about the Nicorette too. She's on me about. There's no doubt. And then when it gets caught in the washer and ruins the little liner, because I leave them in my pocket, and I'll leave these little things just laying all over, and it'll rip the liner right out of the washer. So I get my tail ripped, about once a month for doing that.
There you go. You got a lot going on, though. You got to run a football team. I think some gum sliding into the pants can be excusable every
Let me tell you this, Joey. She has a lot more going on than I do. I get to go play football all day, and she's got to run a house with 5 children. Her life's a lot more complicated than mine.
That's fair. That's totally fair. I'm very curious about, and I've wanted to ask you this for a long time, so I'm glad I finally get to have you on. How do you stay so disciplined as a GM when you have all these possible, because you have all these Madden GMs, the armchair GMs out there that want to be on Twitter making moves and everything. I asked myself this since you've been around, like, how does Chris Ballard not pull the trigger more often? Like, you are just insanely disciplined. How does that come to be?
I guess just through the years, and then, working in Kansas City with John, and then, we were pretty disciplined in Chicago too, where, I don't ever know if you're one player away.
Yeah.
And then opportunities, when they pop up, you got to be ready to take advantage of them, much like Buckner last year.
Yeah.
But the team you follow, Pittsburgh, I think they're one of the great organizations in this league, and they're very disciplined about what they want to do. They draft for the most part, they draft most of their team and they work and develop them. Every once in a while, you'll see them dip into free agency, but not very often. And when they do, it's to plug a hole. And we kind of have a very similar philosophy.
You were a Steelers fan growing up, right? You told me that a while ago.
Big, huge Steeler fan. I still have. I know my mom still has it, and I still have some of it here. But I've got boxes of things when I was a little kid: terrible towels, Lynn Swan, Terry Bradshaw jerseys. I was obnoxious Steeler fan, and living in Houston, living back in the Oiler days. Now when they had the big battle, so everybody in my family was either a Houston Oiler fan or a Dallas Cowboy fan, and then here's this kid running around with Pittsburgh terrible towels, slapping it in everybody's face every time because we were winning the big one. So I was pretty obnoxious.
I gotta say, because so we connect on a level, not only because you were a Steelers fan growing up, I currently am and have been my whole life, but I wanted to remind all the football fans and especially the Colts fans out there that get on me, hey, you're from Indy, you're living in Indy, why are you not a Colts fan? There you go. Your own general manager was down in Houston going against the grain, you know?
Hey, and look, now I hate those damn terrible towels. Like every time we go play there, like this year was the best. And unfortunately we came out on the wrong end of it.
Yeah.
But usually you get going and that crowd gets going and them freaking towels get to waving and it just creates a different energy. It's one of the real special places to go and play.
Yeah, no, I was actually at the game, not obviously this past year, but in 2019. When Minka went 99 and, it came down the wire there. But I was there and I definitely know what you mean when it comes to the terrible towels right there. How tired are you of talking about quarterbacks yet?
Do you need one of those?
Last time I checked, I was watching the Super Bowl. I'm not a very smart guy. But yeah.
Well, I mean, when Andrew retired, 2 years ago, we knew we were going to have a challenge in front of us. And every year, first year with Jacoby, and then last year with Phillip, three different, or really four, since I've been here, three different with Jacoby because he started 2 of the years. But we'll continue to look. We'll find a good answer. I'm pretty confident in our group. Whether it's a veteran or a younger player, we'll see. We think there's going to be some good options out there for us to go to.
I'd like to try to make a deal with you here because this isn't going to air. So this is like a video series of collection of interviews. So this isn't going to air right away. So by the time that this airs, you could already have, the answer at quarterback for 2021.
When's it airing?
I don't know exactly yet. Maybe beginning of March.
Okay. All right.
Okay. But let's say, I guess, I put it out there on the line. I guess the name of the quarterback, and it's correct. Then this upcoming season, I don't know, maybe, watch a game in the box or
Oh, you'll come sit in my box. If you get it right, you can sit in my box with my family.
Okay.
Do we play the Steelers? You just can't do it that game. Do we play Pittsburgh?
No.
Good, because you can't come to that game if we play. But any other game, you can sit in the box. You can bring a guest.
Okay.
You can bring a guest.
Well, she doesn't like football that much. Maybe I'll bring my dad or one of my buddies who's there.
Absolutely.
Okay. This is who I'm going with. As of February 12th, Andy Dalton. Andy Dalton is my guess. I think he's a wild card. I think now I'm getting into Cowherd on you. Cowherd's your guy, right?
I like Colin.
Colin's my guy.
I like Colin.
I'm getting Cowherd here on you. It's a little bit of a wild card. He's a veteran. You put him in the right situation with an offensive line, surround him with the right team, the right talent, the right coaching. It's a very good situation. You don't have to give up too many assets. You can be a free agent. Bring in Andy Dalton. Bring in the Red Rifle. Leading the way. That's my pick right now. February.
Right. Good guess.
Okay.
Good guess. We'll see if it comes to fruition.
If it comes to fruition, I'm going to circle back.
You're in my box.
I'm going to circle back with Matt, and you cannot hold that against me. And when it comes down to the drawing board, say, man, you guys are making some good points about Dalton, but that Molinaro kid, I don't.
No, that's good.
Just messing with you. All right, let's do that. I feel like you're always in the know. Do you have a burner? Would you tell me if you had a burner Twitter account out there?
No. It says no. It has it's like CK Ballard. I mean, it's on there. I mean, I don't get on it very often. I don't tweet. I don't tweet. Yeah, I don't tweet.
Chris, I've been covering and following the Colts for like 4 years. Since you got here, that's the first time hearing that you have an actual Twitter account.
Yeah, I don't tweet though, and I don't get on it at all. I mean, rarely. My kids get on it all the time. My kids got Twitter, and they get on it all the time and tell me how people are killing me.
They're killing you, or they're praising you. I mean,
it's okay. It's part of the job. I mean, it doesn't. That's just part of it. But no, I don't tweet. I'm not into it. I don't think I'd ever be into it.
Yeah. I mean, if it wasn't my job, I wouldn't be into it either. So
look, it's a great platform for information.
Yeah.
But where it's gotten, like, everybody has an opinion, and when the biggest issue I have is when false information, and then everybody runs with it, and it just runs wild.
Yeah.
I mean, and then people take it as the gospel, and then next thing you know, here's a big story of something that was never even true.
Yeah, no, I know it can be the worst for sure. But that's interesting. I didn't know that you had a Twitter account. You're so good around the mic. You're so good with answering questions. Is there any interest? Like, I think if you guys went on and won a Super Bowl, politics, mayor of Indy. I mean, anything like that?
No. Well, like I tell our guys all the time, and I mean, if you ask me the question, I mean, if I can answer it, I'll answer it. If it doesn't give us a competitive, disadvantage, but I'm honest. We don't have anything to hide.
Yeah.
We don't. And our players know. I mean, we're honest with them. No, I just kind of shoot from the hip, and what you see is what you get.
Yeah. No, it's definitely, I mean, when I was, covering before I was with Barstool, and it was always much appreciated. And I know everybody in the media really, really appreciated that.
How many years now for you? How long have you been with Barstool?
A year.
That's all directly from you starting on Twitter, doing your deal.
Yeah.
Good for you, man. Good
yeah,
for you.
No, it is awesome. Yeah. Do you hold like mock press conferences? Is that a thing GMs do? No.
You
just go and you do it.
Yeah, just kind of go. Matt does a great job.
Yeah.
That helps. Connie does his work, and they get me prepared. I usually stay on script for the most part.
Except for the Patriots line, right? Script, right?
I'll stay on script for the most part.
Yeah.
But no, I mean, I don't prep and all other than what Matt gives me.
Yeah.
And then so here's my take on the media. I think that the fans deserve to know. They do.
Yeah.
I just think we live they're going to find out anyways. The media is going to find out. The fans are going to find out. So why not be honest and tell the truth? It's got to come from us.
Yeah.
I just think it's when you're upfront and you're honest about it, even they might get pissed at you and for a little while, but if you're upfront and honest right away, at least you got a chance to recover. If you lie, if you try to hide, distort the facts in any way or spin the story, we're just not into that. And they're gonna eventually it's gonna come out. It just is. So just be honest. This is what we're doing. This is how we're gonna roll. I mean, it's almost comedic sometimes where I think our guys don't even know when to trust or believe. Like they just think every once in a while I'm trying to pull one or a fast one. I keep telling them if you'll read between the lines, I'm telling you this story. You just got to read between the lines.
Right. Yeah. No, you make a good point. It's like you said, you have 5 kids. I was always told growing up, if I got a detention, I might as well tell my parents for after school than waiting until, Sunday night or whatever it was. Like there's honesty is always the best policy. They always got way less mad when I would tell them.
Yep. Just tell the truth. When you screw something up, I mean, that's why, Joey, like, like when we're screwing something up, we deserve to be kicked in the teeth. I mean, I would rather have a fan base and that cared instead of one that's apathetic and, didn't care. Right. So, like when things don't go well, damn right, they should be upset. I mean, sure. we have good fans here, and they should be pissed. Be no different than you being upset with Pittsburgh when they get. I mean, that's what makes our sport great. I mean, now it's hard because it's week to week, and less judges at the end of the season. But it's such a week to week over 16 weeks. I mean, each and every week it's a roller coaster, sure. And the skies fall in one week when we get beat by Jacksonville. And then we beat Green Bay and we're freaking number one team in the league. I mean, it just, it's a crazy league that way. And that's what makes it really special.
Yeah, no, it is. It's hit the nail on the head there. Just so up and down, and Twitter's crazy with that. Have you heard, so I do a Jim Irsay and an Andrew Luck impression. Have you heard them?
Oh, they're awesome. Yeah, absolutely.
Thank you. Okay.
They're awesome. No, they're great. You need to come. We wanted to get you. I think I've asked Matt a couple of times, like, we need to get Joey in front of the team. They would love it. They'd love it.
Did you ever, I don't know because Andrew's such a private guy. I'm trying to get confirmation. Was that ever circled around the locker room? Did you ever get a glimpse of Luck checking out me doing Luck and his reaction at all?
I don't remember us talking about it, but I remember when he was here, I wanted to get you in to do it because it's freaking really good. I mean, it's really good. No, it's really good. The one out in the when you stand in front of the statue, the Peyton statue, that's just great. It's great.
Thank you. Would you mind if I worked on one of you?
I'm easy. But no, not at all. I don't care. Okay. No, I'm easy. I'm easy. Absolutely.
Some people can be, they can get defensive about it. So I figured I had the chance.
No, I won't. I beat myself up enough as it is, so everybody else could take their shots too.
You got the a little bit of a unique voice, it's not like your typical voice, and then you say the words "look" and "football team" a lot. You're always "look," you know what I mean? Yeah, you're always prefacing everything with the look. No matter what the point is, it's always I imagine Mrs. Ballard, and she's like, Chris, what do you want to do for dinner tonight? And I see you, and then you're sitting there, and you're just like, look. And then you go into it, even with her. I feel like it's so routine for you. But those are the things that I picked up on.
That's good.
Couple more here. I called triple shot because it's a coffee, cup of Joey, just 3 kind of rapid fire, different questions. Number 1. What's a TV show that you're watching right now, if you even have time to watch one?
Is it Succession?
Succession.
Yeah, on no, what's the one I don't watch much TV. I really don't. I watch Seinfeld like crazy.
Really?
Oh, I watch all the old Seinfelds. All of them.
Funny. I actually got a question today. They were like, which is better, Friends or Seinfeld? And I was like, Seinfeld, the biggest.
Oh, Seinfeld. Yellowstone. I was into Yellowstone, and we're waiting for the next season. What's the one with Bateman, Jason Bateman?
Ozark.
I liked Ozark a lot. These were all, quarantine. Right. We were quarantined.
Yeah.
So those are the ones. But Seinfeld, I would tell you Seinfeld, like when I go home and I just want to unwind at night, I'll put on Seinfeld at least 3 or 4 nights a week.
Heck yeah. I love that.
My wife gets tired of it because I'll watch like the same show, the same one, like every week.
Yeah.
Same one every week.
The theme song can kind of, when you're winding down, my lady as well can be like, can we shut that off? It's kind of obnoxious, but I like that. That's a great answer. All right. What's a hobby that you have that others may not know about?
Well, I ride the Peloton bike like crazy, and I read.
Okay. What are you reading right now?
Yeah. Oh God, a guy just sent me a book, and it's about I can't think of the name because I just started it last night. Then I fell asleep like five freaking things. Yeah. Oh God, 5 in. There's a book called.
Not out there.
No. It says no. It has my. It's like C.K. Ballard. I mean, it's on there. I mean, there's a book called The Art of the Impossible by Stephen Coulter, which is I've just started to. So there's about 3 or 4 that I'll read 3 or 4 at a time, and then I'll do books on tape when I'm watching tape. So, but I'm a big reader.
So it's not like you can visually watch film and then listen and not be.
Well, look, there's times when I got to go back and I'm going backwards trying to figure out what was really said. In the book, if there was a piece of the book I really liked, I'll go back.
Right.
But no, I'm a big books on tape, a big reader, and then the Peloton, and then my family. I mean, that's it.
That's it. Yeah.
That's what I do. Yeah.
Like you said, you're a busy guy. You got a football team around. All right, last one. Would you rather watch a Colts game with a fan? Not me, a Colts fan. Would you rather watch a game with a Colts fan or watch it with your least favorite beat reporter? You don't have to say who it is, but if that's the option, which one?
Colts fan.
Why?
Because we'd both be into it. I mean, like if you saw me, like our beat reporters get to see me during the game, and God bless them because they don't tweet everything out. Other beat reporters will, but I'm telling you, on game day, I turn in to a fan. I throw as big a fits as they do. Thank God I have a box at home. But there's times even in boxes and when we're in the opponent's stadium where I've tried to be professional, but I mean, freak, man, we're trying to win the game and our lives are on the line here. So I get emotional.
It's your baby. Yeah.
Yeah.
Absolutely.
You get emotional.
Sure. Well, Chris, thanks again for taking the time on Friday. I really, really appreciate it. I'm glad we got to finally talk longer than just passing by at the
appreciate it,
something like that. And looking forward to next year. Hopefully, I'll be in the box.
Thank you, Joe. Absolutely.
And good luck. All right.
All right, brother. Thanks, Joey.
Thanks, Chris.
All the best.
See you.
All right. Chris Ballard, the man. I hope you enjoyed it. And again, you got to work with me a little bit. This is the first time doing it in StreamYard. So there's a little bit of technical issues that you saw there and everything. Not too much. I think it went pretty seamless throughout. So thank you for watching that with Chris Ballard. It's going to be back. It's going to be up on my channel. Full interview. It'd be great. He's the best, man. He's so good. He's such a good dude and an easy conversation. And, there's nothing more that you can ask for, I think, out of a GM, somebody in that position, for Colts fans who, this dude is transparent. He always has been. He's good at his job. He has stuck with the message that he wanted for a long time, and he stuck with it. And, the Colts are right there. They're on the cusp. Thanks, KB. David Thrush. Yeah, I don't know. I was just taking a shot. See what happened on the guest with Andy Dalton instead of Carson Wentz was my gut said Wentz, but my head said somebody like Dalton. So I overthought it. I reverse psychology myself. So no Andy Dalton, Carson Wentz for you guys. Hope you enjoyed it. Again, it's going to be up. You can come back, watch it later, just like the whole rest of the show. So debut, man. This was I'm so excited. I really am. I know I said it already. I'm kind of getting into Fallon here. Oh, buddy, we love it. We're so excited that you're here. Oh, we love it. Oh, I love it, buddy. But I really am. I mean, this was, I was nervous. I had some nerves. I had some juices flowing last night, this morning when I woke up with happy to get back on and to host a show again, because I did it in Indy for a while, but it had been a year or so since I've done that. So I hope you enjoyed. Let's get to the winners of the hats before we go. I'll announce them here. Cup of Joey Dad hats still available. Barstool Sports Store. You can go check those out there. Just search Cup of Joey. And you have that. You have the mug right here. Trusty old mug. It's got the Barstool logo on the back. Cup of Joey. I spilled a little bit, so it's kind of messy. Anyways, hat winners, thank you for subscribing. If you haven't subscribed yet to the channel, please do so. Like this video. I'm going to be back every morning, 9 to 10 a.m. Tomorrow, I got Kelly Keegs from Barstool Sports. We're going to be recapping a little bit of Bachelor. Thank you, guys. Tyler, Superman, I appreciate that so much. John, thank you. Steven, awesome. Nicholas, I'll get that to that tomorrow. But Kelly Keegs coming tomorrow, talk Bachelor. And then I think I'm working on it. But another big interview from the NFL one of my buddies that hopefully I'll be having for you tomorrow morning. So before we do that, and we sign off here, let's go with the hat winners. We got at Kyle Smitherman, at Quinn Murray 40, at Mikey Cardoso, at GabJ11, and at Aiden the Myth. So I'll post those on my Instagram and Twitter again. Then I'll hit you up for your address and things like that to be able to send those hats out to you. But thank you so much. Please, again, subscribe to this channel. I'll see you tomorrow morning at 9 a.m. Have a good one, guys.